Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Fifth canto, 13th chapter and 5th verse. Drusachili swanakarna sula Olukavagvi vyatitantaratma Apunya vrikshan srayate khyudartito Marichito yani abhidhavati kvachit Drusachili swanakarna sula Olukavagvi vyatitantaratma Apunya vrikshan srayate ksudartito Marichito yani abhidhavati kvachit Adrishyachili swanakarna sula Olukavagvi vyatitantaratma Apunya vrikshan srayate ksudartito Marichito yani abhidhavati kvachit. Want to a translation? In translation, purport by his divine grace. Adrisya, invisible. Chili, of crickets or a kind of bee. Swana, by the sounds. Karna, sura, whose ears are disturbed. Uluka, of the owls. Bhakti, by sound vibrations. Deshita, very disturbed. Anta Atma, whose mind and heart. Apunya Vrikshan, impious trees that have no fruits or flowers. Srayate, it takes shelter of. Kshuda, from hunger. Ardita, suffering. Marichito yani, the water of a mirage in the desert. Abhidhavati, he runs after. Kvachit, sometimes. Translation. Wandering in the forest of material world, the conditioned soul sometimes hears an invisible cricket making harsh sounds, and his ears become very much aggrieved. Sometimes his heart is pained by the sounds of owls, which are just like the harsh words of his enemies. Sometimes he takes shelter of a tree that has no fruits or flowers. He approaches such a tree due to his strong appetite. Thus he suffers. He would like to acquire water, but he is simply illusioned by a mirage, and he runs after it. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that the Bhagavata philosophy is meant for people who are completely free from envy. Parama nirmatsarana. The material world is full of envious people. Even within one's inner circle, there is much backbiting. And this is compared to the sound vibration of a cricket in the forest. One cannot see cricket, but one hears its sounds and thus becomes aggrieved. When one takes to Krishna consciousness, one always hears unpalatable words from relatives. This is the nature of the world. One cannot avoid mental distress due to the backbiting of envious people. Being very much aggrieved, sometimes One goes to a sinful person for help, but he has no means to help because he has no intelligence. Thus the living entity is disappointed. This is like running after mirage in the desert in an effort to find water. Such activities do not produce any tangible results due to being directed by the illusory energy. A conditioned soul suffers in so many ways. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-salakaya Chaksaronmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanitam Tam Sajivam Savaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakhanitam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesa Shunyavadi Paschata Desatarini Vancha Kalpatarobhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratiše Namah. Panchatattvatmakam Krishna Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktaksham Namami Bhakta Saktikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaurabhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity to share the glories of the Lord. So we have been discussing from the 5th canto. Like here in this 13th chapter and 14th chapter, Lord Bharat is speaking very beautifully that how a material conditioned person, he suffers so much. He is explaining with a allegory, a story to Maharaj Rahuguna. When Rahuguna asked, yes, I mistakenly, addressed you as a fool, as a stout person, and so on and so, but the way you are speaking, doesn't seem to be a very ordinary person, Definitely you are an elevated soul. And then at the end of the 12th chapter, 16th verse, he spoke about, the glories of devotional service, the glories of the association of the devotees. And then he started speaking about, what is the journey of a materially conditioned soul. He talked about a merchant, how he is passing through a forest. He comes across different plunderers, who are about to plunder all his wealth, and then finds so many leeches, mosquitoes who are about to attack him with so many things. And today, in this verse, we are hearing that how Jad Bharat, he is really speaking of three analogies. Anybody remembers what are three analogies he talked about? He talked about that how somebody is really wandering in the forest, and this person hears the invisible cricket. I don't know how many of you have been to the village area. It's like a very high pitch sound, that comes, right? And they're really harsh, and it's very difficult to tolerate them. And sometimes in the night there is a sound of an owl. And then, right? So because of so much of grievance, so much of disturbance, and then she finds that okay, I need to take some shelter, because in the dark you really get fearful. But then you want to take some shelter. Where is that shelter? Because in the darkness, what happens? You become fearful. You become really fearful. What is there? What exactly? You don't know where is to go, left or right. You don't know what is about to attack you. You are completely in darkness, and you are feeling really so cold. And at that point of time, this person, he doesn't find any shelter, and he takes shelter of a impious tree. This tree doesn't have any fruits or flowers or leaves or branches, and just standing a tree. It is considered as like an impious tree. And then during that point of time, he feels thirsty. That I need some water now, and he doesn't find any water. And thinks that okay, maybe there is some mirage here. Let me run after the water, which is really seem to be there is some oasis. Let me find out some water there, get some happiness there. But then how this material world is so difficult, right? So it talks about that yes, in this darkness, we hear these painful words from the relatives, from our so-called family members or the colleagues or near and dear ones. And then you want to kind of get some shelter, right? Sometimes with spouse or with boss. But then you find that none, you get more aggrieved. And then at least okay, can somebody give me water, because I'm really thirsty, I'm about to die, right? But you don't get it. You are really just running. Kshula sukhaya dukkham mahad gatanam. So all of us are running after that. Kshula sukhaya. It's just okay, I'll get this jamun. But then I understand that I have to pay 1 crore rupees for one jamun. Right? This is the condition of all of us. Just for khenika sukha, for this illusory, temporary happiness, we work so hard. We don't get anything. But then we realize that in the darkness, right, what exactly you are looking for? If there is some fire. And if there is some fire, what happens? If there is some campfire, right, what happens? You see the light, then you understand. You see there is some light. Once you get that light, you become free from the fear. And then second thing, what happens? You get some warmth. And once you get the light also, you know what is there around. No animals come near the fire. So, and this in Bhagavatam, it is considered that this fire, which really gives that warmth, which gives that light, and which gives that enlightenment, is the Bhagavatam, is the sadhu. That is the comparison it is given. So once you take shelter of the Bhagavat, once you take shelter of a sadhu, it really gives us that enlightenment. It really gives us that their happiness. Sanatana Goswami, he's praying, Asadhu sadhuta dain ati nicha uchchata kara ha ha mancha kada chinman humna hrud kanthaya spura. And he's saying that, oh, like, oh, Bhagavatam, what is the glory of yours? You transform him, asadhu, which are patita, pamara, adhama, to the highest class of Vaishnava. And then, ha ha kadachinma, and I just only pray that, let that Srimad Bhagavatam there always in my throat. Once I have Bhagavatam, once I have the association of the devotees, and I really get lightened. So today, we thought that just to take these three analogies once again. Once you are aggrieved, with the disturbance from the relatives or the family members or near and ones who are to take shelter. So that we thought of discussing from Gaur Leela. Okay. Because Nityananda Tradasi is coming, we just celebrated Advaita Acharya's appearance day. So where else we can go for shelter? So here, anybody knows what is the first time of Nityananda Prabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita? Anybody knows? Siva. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the first pastime of Nityananda Prabhu. Anybody knows? Yes. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Chaitanya Charitamrita Nityakara Pan Jaha Hoite Premananda Bhakti Tattva Gyan. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that yes, it's not only during Nityananda Tradasi or Gaur Purnima we should read Gaur Leela, we should read Nitya Karapan, we should drink every day. Yes, this is what, like we heard today, right? When somebody is thirsty, instead of going to Mirage, what should we drink? Nitya Karapan. What should we drink? Yes, nectar that is there in our Gaur Leela and Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the pastime, this is the first pastime that is there of Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Right? So before speaking this, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that I am feeling a little sigh. I don't know whether I should speak it or not. Because it is very confidential. Why it is confidential? We'll hear that. So once he is saying that it is there in Adi Leela chapter 5. This story starts from 161 verse, and he says that one time one servant, dear servant of Nityananda Prabhu, was that Meena Ketana Ramdas. What is his name? Meena Ketana Ramdas. He had come to visit his house. Whose house? Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami's house. And this, especially the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, they are transcendental. They are always follow the mood of Nityananda Prabhu. They always want to be absorbed in this glories of Krishna and Gauranga, and they want to distribute that. They want to share it with others. That's the only two things that they would do. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else. And time permits, we'll discuss about some of his more associates. What is the transcendental behavior of Nityananda Prabhu's associates? Because once we talk about Nityananda Prabhu, like we say that his Avadhuta Siramani, and in a very colloquial way, once we talk about Avadhut, we kind of put it in a like a mad person, right? Like if somebody is doing here and there, he's Avadhut. But Nityananda Prabhu is not that, right? Nityananda Prabhu, like Bhasilas, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he has given a nice purport on this word Abadhut and Chaitanya Bhagavat. He says that means Akshaya, he's inexhaustible, his glories are unlimited, his qualities are unlimited, Akshaya. Va is Vashnaya, he's coming, he's such a respectful person and everybody respects him. And Du means Durga, and no material conditioning or dualities really touch him. And the Ta is Tattvamasi. He's always absorbed in the supreme absolute truth. It's Mahadhira, it is mentioned. And Nityananda Prabhu, he is forget about tolerating the urges, like all the urges surrender unto him. He is beyond all the dualities. He is a prime celibate person. And then you have this associate as a Miniketan Ramdas. He was traveling all around and distributing this holy name, Kirtana. Amara alaya ratra sankirtan tahate ailate ho paya nimantran. Somehow he came while doing sankirtan there and absorbed in the love. He sat in the courtyard of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, and all the Vaishnavas, they bow down at his feet. And this like servant of Avadhuta, he's also Avadhuta, sometimes he would jump over some devotees head and he would jump on them. And sometimes he would slap, like there was one more devotee of Nityananda Prabhu, his known as, anybody remembers? Aviram Thakur, right? He had a Madhumangal, right? Jai Mangal, right? So like he would slap with that whip and everybody get really ecstasy. Yes, Jai Mangal, right? And whenever, like forget about Miniketan Ramdas, whenever somebody sees Miniketan Ramdas, Jainayane dekhite asru haya manajar seinatre avichinna bahe asrudhar. Just by seeing Miniketan Ramdas, everybody would have tears in their eyes. They would manifest ecstatic love. They would develop that how grateful we are that we are receiving the mercy of Gauranga and Nityananda through these devotees. And they were so much of an ecstasy that the Kadamba flowers would really kind of manifest this, like the erupting of the body parts, right? And whenever he shouted aloud, Nityanandi bole jabe kare hai hunkar taha dekhilo ke rahe maha chamatkar. And when he used to chant Nityananda, like and whenever he used to chant, sometimes he used to chant like a lion, or he used to chant like a thunder. How he was chanting? Nityananda. I don't know if it's a cat or it's a it's like Nityananda. Yes, we should roar. Like one time, like the Amrit Swami Maharaj was saying that whenever some disturbance comes, or it's happiness or in a sorrowness, right? We should always chant, because it's not that in a sorrow only we chant, because most of the times we get disturbed in the happiness also. Either in happy or sorrow, whenever we're disturbed, we should chant loudly, Nityananda! Yes. And just by hearing that hunkar of Miniketan Ramdas while you were chanting, and everybody got really astonished. At that point of time, he is saying that there was one priest they had in their house. His name was, anybody knows? Gunarnava Mishra. He was serving the deity, but then he saw that, realized that okay, Miniketan Ramdas is coming with so beautiful Sankirtan, but this priest, he is kind of doing his deity worship. At that time, Miniketan Ramdas said, he is also like Ramharshana Sutta. Anybody knows who is Ramharshana Sutta? In Krishna book we hear that. What is that? Yes, father of Sutta Goswami. That how Lord Balram was traveling, and then he came to this assembly where Ramharshana Sutta was speaking. Right? Yes. Whenever Lord he himself is coming, and it's really etiquette to welcome him too. Right? But Ramharshana Sutta didn't acknowledge Lord Balram. Right? And then Lord Balram had taught him the lesson. Right? And here, Miniketan Ramdas, he's saying that he is this Ramharshana Sutta. So some might ask that we didn't see Lord Balram coming. Right? Why he should get angry? Why Miniketan Ramdas should get angry? Why he should get angry? Sorry? But Nityananda Prabhu didn't come there. Nityananda Prabhu was not there.
Okay, he should be happy. Nityananda, Menakatan Ramdas should be happy that everybody chanting Nityananda name. But he got angry with Gunarnava. That how he's just acting like Romharshana Sutta.
It's not chanting.
Yes,
His Lord and his names are not different, and because Sankirtan is happening.
Yes. Yes. He was absorbed in the deity, but then he was not acknowledging, right, the coming of this Menakatan Ramdas. He was not respecting, right? But then somebody might ask, whether a devotee should really get offended, and if somebody doesn't, because a devotee should be a manina manadena. He doesn't expect any respect from anybody. Then our Acharya is saying that, and Menakatan Ramdas could understand what is there in the heart of Gunarnava Mishra. Because in the heart of Gunarnava Mishra, he had the devotion for Krishna and also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he didn't have any devotion, right, for Nityananda Prabhu. Right? So it means that, it's like an Ardha Kukuti Nyaya. Right? You just worship Krishna and you don't take care of his associates. You worship only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you don't take care of his associates. Or sometimes, I worship, I love only my Guru, but I don't love my God brothers. Right? This is the Archayam Eva Haraye Pujamya Sraddhaya Ihate. Right? Like this 11th canto, we hear that. This is the mood of a Kanishtadhikari. He understands the Lord is there only in the deity. But Natad Bhaktesu Channesu Yavakta sa Prakruta Smrta. He's a Prakruta devotee. He's a so-called neophyte devotee, who doesn't understand the glories of the devotees. Who doesn't understand, like here in this case, the glories of Nityananda Prabhu. So, having said that, like in Menakatan Ramdas, right, he continued his kirtan. And at the end of the Sankirtan, right, and he had still sorrow that how these devotees are not able to rest and appreciate the glories of Nityananda Prabhu. And not only that, he realized that even the brother of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he also didn't have any respect for Nityananda Prabhu. And this really pained him. And in angry mood, he really left. And seeing that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, his heart pained. He didn't know what to do. He's like my elder brother. What should I do? At the same time, he doesn't have respect for my dear Lord Nityananda Prabhu. What should I do? In a very aggrieved condition. He tried to sleep. But as soon as he slept, and he got a beautiful dream. In that dream, what happened? He is hearing Dandavata hayami podino paite nija pada padma prabhu dilamana mate. So at that time I saw that very beautiful Lord. He has appeared in my dream and he has kept his lotus feet on my head. And he is saying, Utho utho boli more bole bara bara uthi tankara rupe dekhi hoinu chamatkara. And then I got up and I saw that a beautiful form of the Lord, and I really got astonished. And what is that form you want to hear? What? Yes, so just by hearing, we can really have darshan of Nityananda Prabhu. Please hear. Syama chikkana kanti prakanda sarira sakshat kandar pajaiche mahamalla vira. He has a blackish complexion. He's tall, he's strong, he's so beautiful like a cupid. Subalita hastapada kamala nayana pata vastra sire patta vastra paridhana. He had a beautiful formed hands, and his arms, legs and eyes are so like lotus flowers. And he was wearing a silk cloth and a silk turban on his head. Suvarna kundala karne Swarnagala vala payete nupura vaje kanthe puspamala. He had beautiful earrings, and he had golden armlets, bangles, and his anklets. He had beautiful tinkling anklets on his feet and a garland of flowers around his neck. Chandana lepita anga tilaka susthama matta gajajini mada manthara payana. And he was like a maddened elephant. He was really going ecstatically. He was his whole body was anointed with the sandalwood pulp, Right, he has a beautiful tilak. Koti Chandra Jini Mukha Ujjvala Varana Dadimba Bija Sama Danta Tambula Charvana. And it's, it's saying that how his face was like million moons. Right? That's what we hear also. What is that beautiful prayer that we sing? Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Susita. You see in this verse, and Narottam Das Thakur is singing. What is he singing? Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Susitala. Right? He is comparing the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu to a lotus flower and also to a moon. How it is possible? Whenever there is a moon, right, in the dark, does the lotus flower bloom? No. Right? So, and how it is possible? Narottam Das Thakur is really mad that he's comparing that how moon and a lotus flower can come together. How he's comparing both together to Lord Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet. And just to show us, just to tell us that he makes all inconceivable potencies. He is having all inconceivable potency. He makes impossible possible. That is the power of Nityananda Prabhu. So he's surrounded by his Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying that how Nityananda Prabhu is surrounded by the cowherd boys, and he saw so much of opulence of Nityananda Swarupa, and just by seeing that he kind of held so overwhelmed ecstasy. And at that point of time, Nityananda Prabhu is saying to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, Are Krishna Dasa Nakaraha Bhaya Brindavana Jahata Sarva Labhya Hoya. He's saying that he's giving a direct personal instruction to him at that point of time, being pleased with his sincerity, that yes, I know that your heart is so aggrieved by hearing the offense that was given to the associate of a devotee, associate of mine. But now what you should do? Now I am very pleased. Now I am giving a shelter in Vrindavan. So don't have fear of anything, and please, because Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that because I heard it, right, I also committed some offense, and I don't know what exactly will be my destination. But here, Nityananda Prabhu is saying, I am really pleased with your intent. What is your bhav, right? And I am giving a shelter at Vrindavan. And hearing that, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he woke up from the sleep, and at that moment, in that second, only he left for Vrindavan. And then it is very beautifully mentioned. The next phase, right? Like how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to Vrindavan, and then he took the association of the Goswamis, right? But here in this pastime, what do we hear? That yes, there are bound to have those ill words or the voices coming from the different people, right? And at the same time, how we should be so careful, loyal, to our spiritual master, to our the associates of the Lord, right? Because Lord is saying Bhaktir Bhakta Jana Priya. Lord is not only dear to his devotees, Lord is dear to the devotees of his devotees. Right? So at no point of time we can really offend, right? Yes, we might not be able to cut their tongue, or we might not be able to do so many other things, right? But what we can do is that, okay, at least we should not hear them, and we should strongly repent ourselves within our heart, and we should pray to the Lord, oh Lord, I'm so unfortunate that I heard today your blasphemies, please ensure that please give your mercy to that person. Once we really pray from the heart, the Lord will shower his mercy, right? And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami came to Vrindavan, and then with the instruction of like all the devotees there, they requested him, please write about Chaitanya Charitamrita, the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because you have heard it directly from Raghunathdas Goswami, right? And still kind of, by seeing all this, by discussing all this, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that, oh, you must be thinking that I'm a very elevated person, because I received directly the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Then he is saying in that same chapter only, he is saying that myself, I am a lower than Jagai and Madhai. I am lower than the worm in the stool. This is the quality of a devotee. So he never feels that because I received the mercy, I received the personal instruction from Lord Nityananda, I am so elevated. It is not my qualification that Lord showered His mercy upon me, but it is their greatness that they are really distribute this mercy to everybody. Right? And at that point of time, right, and the letter in the 8th chapter, he's saying to all the devotees who have been reading this Chaitanya Charitamrita, he's saying, Ore Mudha Loko, you are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he's saying, oh Mudha. Why? Ore Mudha Loko Suna Chaitanya Mangal. Why are you reading Chaitanya Charitamrita? Read Chaitanya Bhagavat. At that time it was called Chaitanya Mangal. Please go and read. Anybody would say that, you have built a nice project, right? And if the manager comes and says that, oh, you have done nice. No, don't talk about my project. You see what project he has done? Would you say like that? Right? But here he is saying that, no. If you are seeing mine when you are a Mudha, you don't know what is real glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. You want to find it? Chaitanya Bhagavat. No? Chaitanya Mahima Jaite Janive Sakala. If you really want to understand the Chaitanya Mahima, the glories of Lord Chaitanya, please go and read Chaitanya Bhagavat. And because Krishna Leela Bhagavate Kohe Veda Vyasa Chaitanya Leela Ravyasa Vrindavana Dasa. Because Vrindavan Das Thakur is real Vyasadev. Just like Vyasadev wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. And similarly in this Gaur Leela, who is Vyasadev? Vrindavan Das Thakur. And he has written Chaitanya Bhagavat. Please go and read that. Vrindavana Dasa Koila Chaitanya Mangala Jahara Saranena Se Sarva Mangala. Once you read it, all your inauspicious things will go away. Right? And Chaitanya Mangala Suna Yadi Pasandi Yavana Seha Mahavaisnava Hoya Tatakshana. Even if you are Pasandi, if you are Adhama, if you just read Srimad Bhagavatam, if you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, what is, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he is giving this benediction that immediately he will become a Mahabhagavata, and he will become a Tatakshana, he will become a Mahavaishnava. Right? Manusya Rachite Nare Eiche Grantha Dhanya Vrindavana Dasa Mukhe Bhakta Sri Chaitanya. Because this was not written by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Bhakta Sri Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dictated that and Vrindavan Das Thakur has written that. So that's why. So now should we go to Chaitanya Bhagavat? You are not sure. You don't want to be Mahavaishnava? Okay. So now let's go to little bit about Chaitanya Bhagavat, because that's the instruction of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Name Nityananda Tumi Rupe Nityananda Name Nityananda Tumi Rupe Nityananda Ei Tumi Nityananda Rama Murti Manta Ei Tumi Nityananda Rama Murti Manta. Do you know who is singing this verse in Chaitanya Bhagavat? The glories of Nityananda Prabhu. What is this? Your name is Nityananda, your form is Nityananda. Ei Tumi Nityananda Rama Murti Manta. You are full of eternal bliss and you are directly Lord Balram. This verse is spoken by none other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. So one time Nityananda Prabhu came to the house of Nimai Pandit. At that point of time Mahaprabhu was still in Navadip, and he saw that Nityananda Prabhu is coming, and at that point of time he glorified Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, glorified Nityananda Prabhu. And in this verse Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur also he gives in that purport how Lord Krishna in this Brihad Yamala Purana he had given this prediction that how he will come again as a Gauranga and his brother Balram will come as a Nityananda. बलराममवैवं सोऽपि तत्र भविष्यति नित्यानंद इति ख्यात न्यासी चूड़ामणि क्षितो. In this verse, right, Krishna had already predicted that in this Kali Yuga, my Amsa, who is a Balaram, he will appear as Nityananda iti khato. You know, he will appear as a Nityananda Prabhu. He is a Nyasi Chudamani. Right? Ei Krishna Navadipe Sri Chaitanya Chandra Sei Balarama Sange Sri Nityananda. You know, when Krishna appeared as a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, same Balaram appeared as Nityananda Prabhu. Right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is continuing. He is saying, Nityananda Paryatana Bhojana Bevhara Nityananda Bina Kichu Nahi Ko Tamara. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying to Nityananda Prabhu, oh Nityananda, you are traveling like Paryatan, your Bhojan, you are eating, your Bevhar, your dealings, all are Nityananda. All are full of bliss. Nityananda Binu Kichu Nahi Ko Tamara. Whatever you do, it is always in eternal bliss. Right? To mate bujhite sakti monusya rekotha. Who can understand? How can a mortal human being can understand your glories? Paramasu satya tumi yatha Krishna tatha. You know, it is a fact that you are present wherever Lord Krishna is. And in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, the glorification of Nityananda Prabhu. And then Prabhu is saying that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, Prabhu bole ko kani kopina tamara, deho iha bodo icha ache yamaro. Right? And then he requested Nityananda Prabhu, please give your kopin, and I want to distribute that kopin to everybody. And not only that, what he did, he glorified further. He is saying, Krishna Ditiya Nityananda Vai Nai Sangi Sakha Syama Sayana Bhusana Bandhu Bhai. Oh Nityananda, you are serving like as a Balaram to Krishna in various ways. In all the rasas you are serving, right? In terms of Dasya Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Madhurya Rasa, in all the ways you are serving. And you are serving and now also with me, in every ways, right? And you are Vedera Agamya Nityananda Charitra Sarva Jiva Janaka Rakshaka Sarva Mitra. He is a Palakanta, he is a Rakshaka, he is a Jiva Janaka. He really, is the origin of everybody, and he is a Sarva Mitra. He is a friend of everybody. Ihara Vyavahara Sava Krishna Rasamaya Ihane Sevile Krishna Bhakti Prema Bhakti Haya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that just by serving Nityananda Prabhu, you have Prema Bhakti. And very beautifully, you can chant this one more verse. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charana Ravinda. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Charana Ravinda. Jaha hoite paino Sri Radha Govinda. 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 So here, we should understand that, right? That Heno Nitai Bine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai, right? Without the mercy of Nityananda, we cannot get Radha and Krishna. And Nityananda Karuna Hoile, Radha Krishna Seva Pave, right? Like once we have the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, then we get the service of Radha Govinda, right? And at that point of time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked for one more thing. And he said, Prabhu bole sunaha sakala. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sunaha sakala, please hear what you have to do next. Sunaha sakala bhakta gana Nityananda pada doko karaha grahana. What are you saying? Please take the water that is really, washed, the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, please accept it. And do you know, would you like to hear what happened after that? As soon as the devotees drank the water that was really washed, the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, Krishna Druda Bhakti, oh hey, ithe nahi ana. Like, everybody had a strong faith in Lord Krishna. And some devotees, what they did? Panchavara, Dasavara, Eka Jana Khaya. So they were not happy just taking the little Charanamrut, right? Just a little one spoon. No. They were coming again and again. Panchavara, Dasavara, Eka Jana Khaya. Bahya nahi Nityananda Hasa. But just seeing this, of course, Nityananda Prabhu was completely oblivious to everything, and he was just laughing and remembering the glory of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Right? And Sabe Nityananda Pada Doka Kari Pana Matta Praya Hari Boli Karae Avana. At that point of time, by just drinking this, water that is coming from the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, everybody started chanting Nityananda. Yes. And also they started chanting Hari 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 Hari. Keho bole aji dhanya hoila jivana. Somebody saying, today my life is successful. Keho bole aji sava khandila bandhana. Somebody saying that, today I am free from all the bondage. Keho bole hoila no Krishna Dasa. Today I am really eligible to be a Krishna Das. Keho bole aji dhanya divasa prakasa. Today is the most auspicious day for me. Keho bole pada daka bada swadu lage. Somebody saying, oh, I have never drank anything sweeter than this. Bada swadu lage. This is so sweet. Ekho na mukhera misthana hi bhange. Like, once you take something sweet, just, after some time, once again, we don't feel that sweetness. But after drinking the sweetness, misthara nahi bhange. I am still feeling, I am still relishing the sweetness in my tongue. Right? That is the sweetness of the remnants, the water that is coming from the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. And after that, what happens? Yes, they started glorifying the water that is coming from the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. And then, next what happens? Keho nache, keho gaya, keho godi jaya, hunkara garjana, keho karo e sadaya. All the devotees, after drinking that water, somebody is dancing, somebody is singing, and somebody is really rolling on the ground and chanting with hunkar, Hari Hari! Hari Hari! Uthila Paramananda Krishnera Kirtana, Bihwala Hoya Nritya Kare Bhakta Gana. And all with so much of ecstasy, they chanted and they danced, uninterruptedly. Right? And amongst all of that, how can Gauranga Mahaprabhu can remain silent? Right? Khyana Kesri Gaura Chandra Kariya Hunkara Uthiya Lagela Nritya Karile Apara. And Nityananda Prabhu also joined with them. And no one knew who fell on whom. No one knew who is crying on whose shoulder. No one knew, right? What was really happening all around. They didn't have fear of anything. All the devotees, Gauranga, Nityananda, and all the devotees started chanting together. They embraced each other. And seeing that, Prithvi Kampita Nityananda Padatale, seeing the tal of Gaur and Nitai, Prithvi Kampita, even the earth got trembled. Dekhiya Anande Sarva Gane Hari Bole. And in all the devotees sing that, they started chanting Hari Hari. Esa bolilara kabhu nahi paricheda abirbhava tirabhava matre kahe veda. Now somebody might be thinking that, oh, that happened 500 years back, right? And now Lord has already left, right? To nullify that, Vrindavan Das Thakur is saying this abhirbhava tirabhava, it doesn't apply to the Lord. Esava lilara kabhu nahi pariched. Pariched means there is no comma or full stop in Lord's pastimes. These are Nitya Leelas. Yes, there's a beautiful pastimes. Sometime we'll discuss about in the Kheturi Gram, right? At that point of time, in the mortal eyes, and the Lord has already left. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had already left. But when Narottam Das Thakur and all his associates, they celebrated the first Gaur Purnima, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared along with his associates, and everybody witnessed it, right? And we see that how, right? when Srila Prabhupada also was traveling, wherever he was going, right, he was carrying Gaur Nitai in his heart. But then, some of you might have heard, or if you have not heard, maybe we'll share it with you, right, that lecture that he gave in Atlanta, 2 minutes class, the shortest class, but the most impactful class of Srila Prabhupada. He is glorifying the merciful nature of Gauranga and Nityananda. After the devotees saying Parama Karuna Pohu Duijana Nitai Gaura Chanda. How this Lord is so merciful, even they are so merciful, more merciful than Lord Krishna himself. Lord Krishna came, he asked for the surrender from the devotees to, nullify all the sins. But when Gaur Nitai appeared, they didn't ask for anything. And now they have come to such a remote place like Atlanta, which is so far from Mayapur, which is the center of the universe. Right, and he has started showering his mercy, and just by speaking this couple of words, this couple of sentences, tears started flowing from his eyes, and he could not speak. Right, and they said thank you very much. That was the shortest class there, because you could realize that how Lord Nityananda and Gauranga, they are everywhere. Wherever the devotees are chanting, wherever the devotees are singing, Gaur Nitai are appearing there. And yes, sometimes we might be thinking that, how fortunate were the devotees, who are drinking so much of nectar that is coming from the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. But how about us? How about us? How can we really drink? How can we drink? Any thoughts?
By hearing the pastimes of
Yes. That we should drink this beautiful glories of Gaur Nitai. Right? If you really want to be like that mad associates of Nityananda Prabhu, you want to really be in ecstasy of singing and dancing, we should hear more and more this Gaur Nitai Leela. That yes, we heard that, sometimes we hear, this Mysore pak is so delicious, or this, what else you like, Mataji? Gulab jamun, it's so juicy, it is so beautiful, right? If you just hear about it, but if you don't eat it, will you really relish it? No, right? Yes, to relish it, we should eat it. That's why Prabhupada says, the real taste of pudding is in eating, right? We should be, attached. We should be, hearing and reading more and more. That's what Srila Prabhupada has given. He was translating Srimad Bhagavatam, and then in between he paused for some time, right? And then he kind of gave us this Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? Yes, we should. Now our life should be really, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada books. That is a real nectar. And that's by just reading that, by hearing that in the association of the devotees, also we'll also release that nectar. We'll also feel that. And that's what Prabhupada is saying. Yesterday only we were discussing, discussing that. We can see Lord Krishna in every page of Bhagavatam. That is the first canto, third chapter, I think 44th purport. And Prabhupada is saying that. Can we really see Gauranga Nityananda now? Can we see Krishna? Yes, it is there in every face, right? But we have to be attentive in hearing and reading. And how we can get that attentiveness, that rapt attention in hearing and studying, right? Once you are pure in our mind, how can you get pure in our mind? Once you are pure in action, how can you get pure in action? Once we have that pure in our eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. So how we can really live a life of purity, right? So we discussed about the beautiful glories. We talked about that how a devotee's one is aggrieved, how he takes shelter, and then what should you drink? And now sometimes you think, whatever you discussed about the devotees, how about, right, who are non-devotees, right? Like we hear that in this Bhagavatam section that the robbers and the thieves, they are attacking us, right? But what about, if we are the robbers, we are the thieves, who will deliver us? Would you like to hear the final pastime? Okay. So it's a very long pastime, but we'll just cut it short. So this happens when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends Nityananda Prabhu to Navadip. He sends that now you go back to Navadip and preach and share the glories of the holy name. Share the glories of the holy name. Because what really pleases Mahaprabhu, yes, that we can go to Dham, we can really release the Dham. Yesterday also we were discussing, but what really pleases the Lord is that, once you take the instructions of Guru and Gauranga and share the glories of Dham, share the glories of the holy name. And hearing that, the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, they left Puri. And once they started leaving Puri, they were asking, yes, we have to go to Navadip, where there is a Ganga. And they were asking, do you know what is the passage to Ganga? Right? Then, oh, this is the way. And all these devotees, they were chanting, so joyfully, so in ecstatic way. They were chanting, Kaha Gaurango, Bhaja Gaurango, Kaha Gaurango, Lo Gauranga Namare, Bhaja Gaurango, Kaha Gaurango, Lo Gauranga Namare. बोलिए भज गौरांग कह गौरांग लह गौरांग नाम रे जय जन गौरांग भजे से अवर प्राण रे जय जन गौरांग So Nityananda Prabhu and his associates, they were chanting loudly that Bolo Gauranga, please chant the name of Lord Gauranga, Ko Gauranga, please, speak the glories of Gauranga and Loh Gauranga Siksha, please, take the teachings of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu into your heart. And once you do it, and then, you'll be so dear to me. Right? And just by chanting, they were going so far, and then somebody was asking, now can you tell us, where is the way to Ganga? He said, oh, you have come so far, you are now in the wrong way. Now you have to go back once again in a couple of miles, and then you have to turn that way. And then once again they would chant, Bolo Gauranga, Koho Gauranga, Loho Gauranga Nam. They were chanting the Lord Gauranga's name. And after that, got so mad. Then after that somebody, they would ask somebody, can you tell us where is the path to Ganga? Oh, the path to Gauranga, you have already crossed now 2 miles. Now you have to go back. Right? This is the situation. They were really forgetting, the eating, drinking or anything else. All the devotees were so mad in singing and dancing the glories of Lord Gauranga. This is the mood of associating with a mad person, right? Right? And at that point of time, right, finally Nityananda Prabhu and his associates, they came to a place where there was a Brahmana named, his name was Hiranya Pandit. And at that point of time, all the devotees of the Lord, they really offered so much of jewelry and ornaments and everything to Nityananda Prabhu. And wherever Nityananda Prabhu was going, he was wearing all the ornaments, silk turbans and all the diamonds, pearls and golden necklaces and so on. Right? And seeing that, all the devotees, they were getting attracted. Oh, he's not an ordinary person. He must be a special person. And everybody was really following them. But yes, everybody was really following, being attracted by him. But there was one dacoit. Okay. Ekasthane rahiya sakala dasyu gana age chara pathaiya dela. And then there was one dacoit. And he said, oh, now Ma Durga is so happy today. He has given all the opulence at one place. Right? And now it's the right time for us to plunder. Right? But Nityananda Prabhu and all his associates, they were just saying, Bolo Gauranga, Kaho Gauranga, Loho Gauranga. They were not thinking of anything else. At that point of time, right? The Dasyugana, they said, okay, let's wait for the night. Once it comes the night, then we'll go there and plunder this. Okay? And at that point of time, right, all the devotees, right, they were chanting and all the dacoits, they came there and they saw that, that, oh, what's happening? Can you just, let's send one spy to find out what is really happening. And then, right, this spy, he came forward and he said that, oh, do you know what is really happening? All the devotees, they are still awake and they are chanting, Hari, Hari! Hari, Hari! Right? And so maybe this is not the right time to go. Let's wait for a bit. And at that point of time, the Dasyus, they are planning. What they are planning? Keho bole moho sonar tadabala. Oh, do you know that tadabala, that gold bracelet? I will take that. Another one is saying, Moim Nemo Muktara Mala. I'll take that pearl necklace. Okay. Another one was saying, Mohinimu Karna Avarana. I'll take the earring. Another is saying, Swarna Hara Nima. And the other person, I'll take the Swarna Hara. Kiho Vole Mohinimu Rajata Nupura. I'll take the silver ankle bell. Another person is saying, Anna, I will take whatever the Lord is wearing through the rings. And in this way, they have been discussing, and at no point of time they realize that there is this words of crow. Ka, ka, ka. What happened? They realize that it is already morning. And somehow or other, though they were having so many swords, daggers and tridents, somehow they hid all of that, and they went to the forest and they started fighting. Oh, you are the first person to slept, and how come we are about to kind of an attack and get all that, and how come we slept? And then the chief of the Dakayat, he said, oh, just hold on. So don't fight. What was the problem today? The problem is that ye hoila se hoila chandira ichhaya. This is all because of Chandi Icha, Ma Durga's wish. That because we didn't worship Ma Chandi nicely, that's why she is not happy, and that's why she did all that. So what should we do? So we should do Chandi Puja today. And so they offered a lot of meat and wines and all that, and of course they took prasad also. And after that they said, okay, now we worshipped, we pleased Chandi, and now tonight we'll go. And all the dacoits, once again they prepared their journey, right? And they were waiting for the night, and they saw today that there were very powerful, hefty, right, soldiers, right? They were there, just wandering around that place, and they were chanting Hari, 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 Hari. And seeing that, they were saying that this one soldier is good enough to defeat all our 100 dacoits. Who is that? And they were saying that, oh, must be this, this Avadhut. He is not an ordinary person. And then he must be a Gosai. The other dacoits said, oh, how can he is a Gosai? He is wearing so many ornaments. Do you know how he is eating? He is just an ordinary person. But maybe, right, he is having some mystic power. No, he doesn't have any mystic power. Do you know what has happened? Some great person has come today, and he has brought his soldiers. Let's wait, right, till he goes, and then I will come back. And in this way, they kind of, a couple of days went by, and once again they came, right? Third day, third try, right? They came, and as soon as they were approaching, what happened? There was a sudden thunderstorms and raining, and all over there was a dark, and somebody was really falling on a ditch with full of leeches and snakes. Somebody was really falling on a drain. Somebody was really falling on maybe so many nonsense things and thorns and so on, and they were really crying out, what is really happening? What is really happening? We are really getting blinded. What's really happening at that point of time? This king of the Dasyu, he realized that, oh, it's really all happening, because of maybe this Avadhut. Let me take shelter of him. As soon as he just thought of taking shelter of Nityananda Prabhu, everything got vanished. Right? Everything became clear. Right? And then without thinking anything, he came to take shelter of Nityananda Prabhu. And at that point of time, Nityananda Prabhu said, that yes, I knew that, you have come here to take something, but I wanted to give you which is the most valuable thing to me, right? And what is that? Now I want to give it to you. And for that, what do you have to do? Pratihimsa, Dakachuri, Saba, Anachara, and all the sinful activities, please leave them. Chhado kiya, iha tumhe kiya, don't harm anybody else, And, always you chant the name of Lord Hari, Loho Hari Naam, right? And not only that, Yata Saba Dasyuchara Dakiya Aniya Dharmapathe Savara Laiya Tumigiya. So not only you chant the name of Lord Hari, but you bring all your associates also and let them chant Lord Hari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, right? That how, even if we might have so much of anarthas in our heart, right? But he always wants to give the best things. That's why Lord sees the ever, wants to give the highest. He's a Patita Pavana. He's a Adhama Patita Pavana. Right? And he wants to give the highest treasure. There's the love of Krishna, love of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and we have to accept it. And that's what the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, like Srila Prabhupada and all our acharyas, they've been stretching, right? And they've been transforming ourselves, and they are also telling us, please take it and please bring your associates who are Choro Dakayat. Yes, and all of us are Choro Dakayats, right? We are trying to loot this, whatever the Lord has given in this material world, we are trying to, make ourselves Aham Iswara, Aham Bhogi, that we are the, we are the Choras, right? And Lord is saying that, yes, please bring all the Choras, and then, and as a Makhanchar, I will still, whatever they have, and I will really give them the real love. Sri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Patitavana Nityananda Chand ki jai, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaura Pramanande. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, or reflection? Anybody have it? Yes, Prabhu.
So we see Prabhu, that Krishna himself came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking the complexion and the mood of Srimati Radharani. That's how he accepted the golden complexion. So today when you are reading, I heard that when you are explaining about the form of Lord Krishna, it is in blackish in color.
Yes.
But we see Balram
Yes.
is white in color. Is there any reason for that kind of acceptance of complexion?
Yes, we hear that, right? Like, we have gone to Imlital, how, right, sometime that we hear that how Radharani, while chanting the name of Lord Krishna, she would be in a Syam Varna. Right? And why? Also Nityananda Prabhu wears blue garments. Why? So that he can remember this, the Ghanasyam Rupa of Krishna. Right? Yes. Lord Krishna, by thinking of Radharani, he becomes Gaura Varna, and sometimes Nityananda Prabhu, thinking of Krishna, he becomes Syama Varna. Sri Sri Gaur Nitai Bhagavan ki.
So it is sometimes we become black.
Yes. Like otherwise, like of course, he is like we say that Krishna is a Ghanasyam, he is like a new monsoon cloud, and Balaram is like a new spring cloud. He is a whitish, in the Gaura form. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.